Hello everybody, Eric again. Today I'm talking about Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. Born Martin Luther King Jr. Born Martin King Jr. January 15th, 1929 to April 4th, 1968. Was an American Baptist minister, civil rights activist, and political philosopher who was a leader of the civil rights movement from 1955 until his assassination in 1968. He advanced civil rights for people of color in the United States through the use of nonviolence, violent resistance, and civil disobedience against Jim Crow laws and other forms of legalized discrimination, which most commonly affected African Americans. A black church leader, King participated and led marches for the right to vote, desegregation, labor rights, and other civil rights. He oversaw the 1955 Montgomery bus boycott and became the first president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC. As president of the SCLC, he led the unsuccessful Albany movement in Albany, Georgia, and helped organize nonviolent 1963 protests in Birmingham, Alabama. King was one of the leaders of the 1963 March on Washington, where he delivered his I Have a Dream speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and helped organize two of the three Selma to Montgomery marches during the 1965 Selma voting rights movement. There were dramatic standoffs with segregationist authorities, who often responded violently. The civil rights movement achieved pivotal legislative gains in the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and the Fair Housing Act of 1968. King was jailed several times. Federal Bureau of Investigation FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover considered King a radical and made him an object of COINTELPRO from 1963. FBI agents investigated him for possible communist ties, spied on his personal life, and secretly recorded him. In 1964, the FBI mailed King a threatening anonymous letter, which he interpreted as an attempt to make him commit suicide. King won the 1964 Nobel Peace Prize for combating racial inequality through nonviolent resistance. In his final years, he expanded his focus to include opposition towards poverty and the Vietnam War. Let's get more stuff about Martin Luther King Jr. In 1968, King was planning a national occupation of Washington, D.C. to be called the Poor People's Campaign. When he was assassinated on April 4th in Memphis, Tennessee, James Earl Ray was convicted of the assassination, though it remains the subject of conspiracy theories. King's death led to riots in U.S. cities. King was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1977 and Congressional Gold Medal in 2003. Martin Luther King Jr. Day was established as a holiday in cities and states throughout the United States beginning in 1971. The federal holiday was first observed in 1986. The Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. was dedicated in 2011. Bye for now.